So other than being my husband, Mr. Landau is a local attorney. So he's a lawyer, and what he does for a living is he represents people that have been hurt. Some people who have just been hurt a little bit have just a broken leg or a broken collarbone or a broken shoulder or injuries to their back, but also people who have been injured, have traumatic brain injury, have head injuries. And those are the people that the doctors do everything they can for, but they can't further fix. So he is also a very strong athlete. You might notice he's pretty skinny, but that's because he does a lot of physical activity and he stays in really good shape. And he's a national USA triathlon competitor, age group winner. And he competed last year in Australia and represented the United States. He was 12th in his age group, didn't quite get the gold medal, wants to go back. We'll see about that. And he travels all over the country for his racing, and he does a lot of racing locally. He's also involved with fitness here in the area. He volunteers at a lot of races, including some kids' triathlons. So after the event, if you have any interest in learning more about triathlon or in being a triathlete or in maybe a kids race that might be coming up, you can speak to him. If it's something you'd really like to do and you might not be able to afford to do it, he might even sponsor someone for a race entry. So if you're interested in that, you can speak to him. Before he speaks to us, we're lucky enough to have Fairfax County's bike police patrol here with us today. So all of these guys, in addition to being Fairfax County police officers, they also run their beat quite often on their bicycles all together. So they've helped us here at Hutchinson before and at some other schools as well. And they're going to talk to you. Officer Mancini is going to talk to you a little bit about bike safety and the rules of the road. And then Mr. Landau will take over, show you his presentation, maybe give out a few more water bottles or bike seat covers. And then we will fit each of you, we'll break you down into classes, and the police and us will fit you each for a helmet and send you home with one. In addition to that, you're going to get a bag to carry your helmet in when it's not on your head, or when you're on your bike, you can carry things in the bag so that you don't have bags hanging off your handlebars that can get caught in your spokes. And you're each also going to get 2 stickers. So while I have your attention, when you get your helmet, make sure that someone has put one of these green and white stickers in your helmet, and it has to stay inside the helmet. This is why. If something does happen to your helmet, if it comes apart, if you're in an accident, if it gets broken, if you bring it to our office and our information is here, then we will know that we gave you the helmet and we will replace the helmet, okay? Because most of all, we want you to stay safe when you're riding. The second sticker is an orange name and address label, because if you lose the helmet, we don't replace it, okay? We're not putting these in the helmets, we're giving them to you because I've made that mistake before, and if I put the sticker inside the helmet, it gets pretty difficult to fill out, right? So you want to fill it out and then put it in your helmet. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, Officer Mancini.
Afternoon, guys. I'm Officer Mancini. I've been on the Western Bike Patrol for about 2 years. I've been riding a bike since I was your age. About 5 years ago, Mr. Landau, I took up triathlon and started riding the bike 3 or 4 days a week, quite a bit of miles. Since then, I have, as you can see with some of these helmets up here, especially this one, I have broken 3 helmets. 2 of those were my own fault, and one of those somebody pulled out in front of me, and I hit them and completely flipped over my handlebars and landed on my head. I will say that if I had not had a helmet on, I would probably not be here talking to you, or I probably wouldn't be able to talk to you. So helmets are very, very important. Now with that said, who can tell me one rule that is very important when you're riding a bike? Go ahead, man.
Always wear a helmet.
Okay. Who can tell, other than always wear a helmet, what is a rule very important when you're riding a bike? Go ahead.
Be safe.
Okay. Very good. That's a very important one. So when you're riding a bike and you're coming up to an intersection or you're riding down the sidewalk and you're going to cross the road, what should you do?
Look at the right.
Stop and look both ways. As a police officer, I've worked many accidents. I worked an accident 2 years ago where a man was riding down the sidewalk. He didn't look both ways, pulled her out in front of a car, and was injured very badly. What's another rule? Go ahead.
Stay on the bike lane.
Yep, stay in a bike lane or stay on the sidewalk. Very important for you guys, most of you guys, is to stay on the sidewalk. I'm sure Mr. Landau is just like me. I ride on the road. It's just the safest way for us to continue moving and get our training in is on the road. But for you guys, it's more important for you guys to stay on the sidewalk. It's a lot more dangerous than the road. There's a lot of cyclists that don't pay attention, and there's a lot of cars that definitely don't pay attention to cyclists. So it's very important for you guys to stay on the sidewalk. We've got another one. Go ahead.
I have one that's very personal to me.
Okay.
If you know you can't do tricks, then don't try to do them because you could injure yourself.
Yes. If you can't, tricks are one of those things, just like riding on the road, that some people can do and some people should do and some people shouldn't. But if you can't do tricks, or if you're like me and not very coordinated, you probably shouldn't try to do tricks. Who else has got one? Nobody? That's it? Can't think of any more?
If you think of them later, there's plenty of people who know a lot who can help.
So how about always watch for cars? Cars are very, very important. It can do a lot of damage to a lot of things, mostly your body and your bicycle. You should always make sure your bicycle's in working order, okay? Just because it's sitting on two wheels and the pedals go around and the wheels go around doesn't mean it's functioning properly. Brakes are very important. Tires are very important. All of those things can injure you. Does anybody have any questions for me? Also, if you're on the road, you are subject to all the laws that a car is. Stop signs, red lights, all that kind of stuff. Okay? No questions? All right, guys, have fun.
Okay, we've got some. And the officers will be here to answer questions. And if you're out on the road and you see something, say something. And these are the guys you can say something to, or if you've had an accident, or if someone's following you. They're friendly people. They're here to put helmets on you and protect you. So you can talk to these guys because they do a great job. We also have another world-class athlete who's got the same shirt I do, Connie Peterson there. See how we match? And from Walden Harrisonburg, where she's a professor at JMU. And to her right in the black jacket is our elected official, Ms. Boysko, who's actually come from my house and is also here at Abrams. In fact, we think your heads are really, really, really important, and that's why we're taking time out of our day to be here. Not for the French fries in the cafeteria, but to be here and maybe teach you things you didn't know before, and be here to help protect you. Because I had a double concussion 3 years ago before the national championships, and I wear this bracelet from now on in case I have another one and they can't wake me up. I don't have any memory of what happened. I wasn't on my bicycle. I was found unconscious at Worldgate Center on the other side of the street, bleeding from my head and my wrist, and I have no idea how it happened. Now, if I had my helmet on, maybe I wouldn't have had such a bad concussion, and it took me 6 months to get well. So let's talk about these things. But first, before we do, who here, and I want to see your hands, who here likes free stuff? Yeah! Okay, put the hands down. We're going to talk about bicycle safety, helmets, and brakes. My wife introduced me, but I'm Doug Landau, and that's our little law shop on the corner of Station and Center Street, right by the Friday Night Live and the Municipal Center and the courthouse. And I got tired of seeing people your size and your age, who are about to be middle schoolers, going by on the trail with nothing on their head and getting hurt. And so I decided several years back to do something about it, because bicycle riding should be what? It should be fun, right? Some people ride to work. I used to ride to do something called the paper route, which I know nothing about. And that's how I made money as a kid. I also ride in races. This is down at J. Sargent Reynolds College. And even though I have no shoes on, what do I have on there?
Helmet.
This helmet, exactly right. A barrister means a lawyer, and I'm a local lawyer, and it means I represent people who've been hurt through no fault of their own. So sometimes if a car is not looking and runs into a bicycle rider, then that bicycle rider, if they're badly hurt, might call me. That's Melissa, who you heard from earlier with the pink helmet. And all these people are over at Hunter's Woods every Tuesday for the Rest and Bike Club rides. I was 3 weeks ago over at Vin Hill as a volunteer for the kids races. We also sponsor the Herndon kids race. Has anyone ever gone to the Herndon Community Center to go swimming or go on the dinosaur slide? Put your hands down. I love those. And so they have a race there in September. If you're interested in doing it, it's a lot of fun. And like she said, we can help. But I get to be a volunteer to tell people which way to go. And yes, I got to represent the United States of America in 2005 in Israel, and I came home with a gold medal. It's pretty cool, except it was 106 degrees, so it was anything but cool. And I go the end of this month on the 26th to Bend, Oregon, to the national championships, and I hope to do well enough there to again be a member of Team USA and go to Europe next year and represent the United States. And if I do represent the United States and Herndon, I hope to be able to do my best. So I did go to Australia. I did get to race down under. It was an amazing experience. Instead of the red carpet, they have the blue carpet. They put a computer chip, I don't know if you can see it on your ankle, so they can track it the whole way. But every race, you'll see me for the helmet, and if you don't click the helmet, you're automatically disqualified. It's a very, very, very strict rule for safety. Bike crashes, though, can happen to anyone at any time. This is a pretty big guy. He's as big as some of the officers, right? Right? I mean, I'm 150 pounds wet, but this guy's 220, 230. Big guy, right? Looks like a football player. He's actually he's with the Secret Service, and to stay in shape, he rides the bike. And I don't know if anyone of you recognize his son or his wife, but does anyone recognize that guy there? Obama. My client's job is to protect this guy named Obama, our president. That's a pretty important job, so he has to stay in great shape. So no matter how important you are, smashes happen. And this large gentleman made that mark in that car. How do you think he turned out? Bad, absolutely right. How about his bike? You couldn't fix that bike. Look at it, it's snapped. You cannot put this bike back together. So let's see how he did. He was in a wheelchair, both legs were broken. I am pleased to say he healed enough that he's back at work, he's back biking. He doesn't play basketball anymore, he doesn't have any lateral moves. And because he was wearing a helmet, he didn't have a concussion. And you saw what happened. His whole body went flying through the air into that car. All right? So, it's important that you protect your head, because your brain cannot be replaced. And this is here at Hutchison. Recognize any of those fellows? Yeah. Not you, them. All right. It's important because your brain can't be replaced. Who here has lost a tooth and gotten a new tooth grown back? Raise your hand. Come on, officers. Yes. Put a hand down. Who here knows somebody, teachers can participate too, who here knows somebody who had a shoulder replacement, a hip replacement, a knee replacement? I think I'm doing Levada here, a kidney. Yeah, come on, we all know everyone. Put your hands down. Who here knows somebody, a family member, a neighbor, a friend, who's had a brain replacement? Put your hands up. Come on, I got two. I got to talk to you afterwards because the Nobel Prize Committee wants to meet whoever did the brain replacement surgery. You get one brain. Unlike the TT, this one's already lost one. You don't get a replacement brain. It's a one and done. Okay? Okay? So you really, really have to be careful about your head. Your bike can get crushed and will not heal on its own. You can get a new bike. And so it's really important that you listen to what the officers say and what we're going to do today. Biking is free. Who knows where this is? You know what I call it? What?
Chantilly.
Not Chantilly, in the back. This is the center of Herndon. That's our depot. That's our old city hall. That's the caboose. Okay? And we have this great trail running right through town that I'd like you all to use to run, skate, skateboard, longboard, rollerblade, wear the helmet, okay? However, while bicycling is free, bike crashes are not. And I just got glasses, so I need someone with better eyes than I have to tell me how much the medical bills were. Can you tell me what this number is?
34,000.
34,076. This is a teacher from George Mason University who was riding his bike on campus, got hit by a car. That's a lot of money just for the medical bills. He was in bed for 2 weeks. He couldn't go to school for 3 months. And he couldn't go back to play for over a year. And this is his helmet. Okay? Can I use this helmet again? No. So, how can I tape? Duct tape is wonderful. Are you sure? No. Can't use this helmet. The helmets we give you, if my sticker's in it and it cracks in an accident, it falls apart, you grow out of it, you bring it, we'll give you a new one. Okay? No questions asked. So how much does an SUV weigh? Like an Xterra? How much does a small truck weigh? Somebody, give me 3. This guy, how much? Somebody, give me a number. 1 ton. I got 1 ton over here. What do I hear? 2 tons. In the corner. What is it?
2.5 tons.
Oh, he's catching his bets. I love it. I got 1, 2.5, 2. No, 1, 1.5, and 2. Right? 2.5. All right, that's an Xterra. Let's see. 4,092 pounds. What? So between a 4,000 pound SUV and a 35 pound kid's bike, who's going to win? The bike. The truck every single time. Who here plays baseball? Raise your hand. Just baseball, not t-ball, baseball. Only 2? Only 2? Okay. How many strikes do you get in baseball? 3. 5. 3. No.
How is there 5?
Same thing with your helmet. If you don't wear your helmet, that's strike 1. If you don't buckle your helmet, that's strike 2. And if you don't make sure the helmet fits. So your little sister's helmet or your great-grandfather's helmet may not be your size. Wearing it over here won't work. Wearing it over here might work. And definitely wearing it with the straps flapping, which I see on the trail, is strike 3. Don't do it. Okay? There are also 3 strikes for your helmet. Strike 1. Was it in an accident? If it is, don't wear it. Strike 2. Is your helmet coming apart? Underneath this shiny part of the helmet's going to give you is this other material. And if the shiny part peels off or gets melted, the helmet's no good. You're not going to probably get arrested for having this happen, but you're not allowed to race. And sometimes at the Western Triathlon, when I do helmet inspection, I have to turn people away. Also, if your helmet's too old, this is a good helmet. I've worn this, but you can see that there's a crack here, and you are allowed to come up afterwards when we're doing helmets and look at and touch any of this stuff. But this helmet's no longer safe. And some helmets are just too old. If this helmet says 1995, these helmets have a life of 5, 7, 8 years. Okay? So don't leave them out in the sun because that'll age them quickly, just like your skin. And is your helmet too old? These, I don't know if you know these folks, these are other. This is over at A1 Cyclery at the Clock Tower on Centerville Road. Very friendly people. Again, if you're in that area and you're lost or confused or someone's bothering you, you can go in there and they can give you a safe payment. Riding a bike is easy as 1, 2, 3. This is from the Olympics. What do you notice about every single Olympic athlete? Helmets, different shirts, different shoes, but they all have the same helmet. The other thing I want to talk about is your skull hard or soft? Hard. Well, we had the ball in soccer, right?
Yeah.
So, if I'm going to take the brain out here, and my brain is like a big pickle in a pickle jar. And you ever shake a pickle jar and sometimes the pickle will hit the inside of the jar. Just like the brain, if it gets bounced around, hits the inside of the hard skull. The pickle doesn't bruise generally, but your brain, if it gets a bruise, okay, where does the swelling go? Notice my brain is big enough to fit in here. If I have some swelling, where does it go? Where does your brain swelling go? Out. Very good. Sometimes there's bleeding, sometimes there's headaches, sometimes there's other problems. There's no place for the swelling to go. If I hurt my arm, it can swell. I can wear a bandage, the swelling goes down, no problem. But if the brain swells, and this feels like Jell-O where you didn't add enough water, kind of hard. If your brain swells, there's no place for the swelling to go. It can cause a lot of big problems. And so one of my clients from Herndon fell, hit her head, thought it was just a headache, went back to Rest and Access the next day, and they took the top of her skull off and put it in a refrigerator so that there'd be room for the swelling of her brain to go down. And then they put this back on, and now she's doing much, much better. But with the brain, if you injure it, there's no place for the swelling to go. So who here's done Flat Stanley? I don't know if this group, did anyone ever do Flat Stanley school? Okay, even Flat Stanley says, kids, wear your libs. Maybe over Incredible, even Mr. Incredible, when he goes to Great Harvest Bakery in town, wears his bicycle helmet and riding. Okay? So we're gonna fit you in a moment because I don't want you guys to be the subject of a CSI or accident investigation because you didn't wear your helmet and your head hit the pavement when you were rollerblading or bicycle riding or skating. Instead, we're going to give you these helmets. We're going to remind you of this. The visors can come off. If you don't like the visor, that's fine. You know, if that's not the way you roll, okay. The important thing is that the helmet's the right size, the chin strap clicks, and that it fits your head in the front and back, and you wear it just about above the brow line, okay? And we'll cut off the tags. Some of the officers already have scissors to cut these off. They just have the warranties, but since we've guaranteed these helmets for you, they're not that important. So we'll snip this off first. This is not part of the helmet. This comes off. All right? We have a lot of great hands on deck, not only the Boy Scouts, not only the police, not only Team USA member Peterson, but myself.
Home in it. It also has our phone number on it in case you have any questions about triathlon or racing or injury.
Or getting a replacement helmet. All right, that's your kid. Just a little bit still. You can decorate the outside. You can put your name, your nickname, your phone number on the outside. You can take a permanent marker and decorate your helmet so it doesn't look like your best friend.